I always had the opinion that Bellarmine did everything right.
Recruiting, and more recruiting.
Well, I don't really care what my time is. And they're like, okay, so like, what do you think you're going to go? I said, faster than you.
Listen, this is what you do. This is what day it is. This is everything else that happens during the Derby.
The next pitch I saw, I hit a no-doubter, and that just set the tone for the little tournament, and we freaking ran through that thing. I love telling that story.
I don't think I'll find anything like this ever again.
We are back. This is the Knights of the Roundtable podcast, and we're happy to be here. We're glad you're with us today. I'm Jack Kaiser. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms to find the links and clips to our episodes. Just search at BU Knights. Today, our guest is a senior on the volleyball team. She's having her best season. She leads the ASUN Conference in kills and kills per set. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. She's from Louisville and has helped lead Bellarmine in its transition to Division I. We're joined today by Jayme Scott. Jayme, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's hard to beat the weather we have right now.
Yes, it is.
So
it's nice.
I feel like at the end of your guys' season, the weather gets the best. So
yeah,
we're enjoying that. But you have some eligibility left. And how does it feel now to be in year 4 of college volleyball?
It's not overwhelming, I wouldn't say, but it's bittersweet for sure. Like, I've been playing since I was 5 years old, and the fact that it's coming to an end is really sad, but I've got everything I needed out of this sport. I've learned a lot. It showed me work ethic and just about everything, so I feel like I'm ready to take on the world, honestly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So don't share this if you're not comfortable sharing it with us right now, but are you done after this year?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have the option to come back for another year or two with COVID, and you redshirted for a year with injury. But I know some players, when they graduate, they get their undergrad, they're ready to move on, and it sounds like that's the case with you.
Yeah, so I did hurt my shoulder, so I could have a year of eligibility. But, like, I think my body's over with, but I'm also done with school. Like, I don't want to do school anymore. Like, I thought about getting my majors, like my master in communications, and I did apply and I got in, but then I was like, I don't want to. I just want to be done and move on. So what's your plan for what you want to do after school? I thought I wanted to be like a wedding planner kind of thing, but I had an internship and that didn't go how I liked. So I don't really know which route I'm going to take, but communications is such a broad.
Yeah.
I think I can pretty much go in any direction I want, but I'm thinking like maybe marketing or something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, at this point, you're just trying to figure it out, and I think that's relatable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's your senior year, freshman year, you don't exactly know what you want to do, but you're going to test it out.
Yeah.
And you're also getting married soon, too, right?
I am. I got engaged, so that's, like, another reason why I just want to be done. Like,
yeah.
And I love that we're a fall sport because then, like, I get spring to, like, get that last, like, bit of college experience is, like, just, like, not being an athlete for once in my entire life. So, like, that's going to be really exciting, and then I'll get to start the wedding planning, so.
Yeah, so there's not much wedding planning going on right now.
No, not at all. We finally set a date. I think we're going to do February 2024.
Okay.
But that's literally all we have. I know we want to get married in a Catholic church. We'll do that where I went to grade school because he played football there too. So, like, small world, but that's all we have so far.
So you got the date. You want to get a Catholic church. Yeah, the wedding planning, I can speak from experience. It comes in waves, and as you get to, like, a month before, you're just totally ready for it to be done.
I'm sure, yeah.
But if you pace yourself, like if you break it up, divide and conquer, like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot of it. I really do think, like, I don't think he has much of an opinion. Like, he's very laid back, so
yeah.
I think he's going to do whatever I say, honestly.
And that's good, right?
Yes, it is very good. It's not going to cause any problems, I hope. So.
Yeah. I can speak from that similar experience. I'm pretty laid back too, and sometimes no opinion's the best opinion.
Yeah, it is, honestly. Like, happy wife, happy life.
It's true. It is very true.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
So let's go back to the beginning with you. You said you started volleyball at age 5. Was there anything else that you liked to do?
Yes, I, aside from going to the lake with family all the time, which eventually that did get cut short, and like there'd be like one lake trip I was able to do before like preseason started back up because we are fall sport and we start in August, which really like you should be prepping in June or July. But I played softball, basketball. I had to pick between softball and volleyball, and I didn't really know what my main factor was. I just like love the game. All my family members play, so I think that my mom played here. I think for 2 years. We never really get into it because I'm just like, I know you played at Bellarmine, but that's it. I don't really ask questions. And my dad played. He actually played with Coach Nold, so that's really nice.
You don't want to hear Mom's old stories about Bellarmine softball?
No, not really. No.
Okay.
Don't really care.
Straight.
Yeah.
What position did you play in softball?
I don't even remember. That's how long ago it was.
Really?
Like, I think it was at that age where, like, everybody played everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was second base.
Okay.
I literally don't remember. Because
Wow.
it just, like, you just got thrown in. Like, I was at that age, and then I was like, yeah, I want to pick volleyball.
Do you remember when you stopped playing?
I think it was 3rd grade.
Yeah, that is a long time ago.
Yeah, very
Okay.
long time ago.
So you knew it was volleyball from a really young age for you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And we'll get into this a little bit later, but it's kind of surreal that that's all coming to a close,
Yeah, I know.
within like a month.
Yeah.
But you went to Mercy Academy in high school, and it's a small school. So genuinely, I'm curious. I went to a massive high school, Carmel High School in
Yes, I've
Indiana.
heard of that, yes.
Yeah, 5,000 kids. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Your school had 500, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What's the small school experience like?
I absolutely loved it. For those who don't know, Mercy is an all-girls school. It's a Catholic school. I just love the small atmosphere. I tell everybody it's so silly, but like when I was shadowing other schools, what drew me into Mercy was the carpet. Like as silly as that sounds, it had carpet floors, which like made it feel so at home. Like grade school, it was just that hard tile floor, and it was like ugh, like gross atmosphere. So like that was like a visual shift that I made going into high school. I was like, oh my God, they have carpet. And my mom was like, you're kidding. And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, that's an awesome factor. But like, again, that was small. That's what I wanted. I think I graduated with like 130 girls.
Wow.
Like, we're all still super close. Like, it's awesome.
And Bellarmine's a relatively small college, 3,300 kids. I think it's a little below that now, actually. Did you want a similar experience in college?
I did, yeah. I knew I wanted to stay in Louisville, so like I was telling a girl yesterday that like anytime I got like letters of like I don't even know what it's called, but like when you're getting recruited, if it wasn't in Kentucky, I would like slide it away because I knew I didn't want it. Like I knew I wanted to stay in Kentucky, and I was looking at NKU for the longest time, but I was like, it's not Bellarmine. Like Bellarmine's where my family went. It's where my mom went. Like my brother was here 2 years before me. Cousin was on the basketball team last year. Like I love everybody, and I needed to stay close to that, and I knew that at a young age, thank God.
So the family aspect of it is ultimately what sold you on Bellarmine?
Yes, for sure.
Gotcha. So you come in, you have a great freshman year, then you tear up your shoulder.
Yes.
What's that like? Because obviously a lot of people don't tear up their shoulder. I think you are in a bit of a unique position. What's it like to feel that?
Yeah, so it was really unbearable. Like, I think it was our COVID year, which was really helpful, honestly. Like, I know it was a bad situation, but like we were trying to make light of it. So we had already got pushed back to the spring. I got my surgery in February, so I was out that spring season that we got shifted. And a girl on our team actually just got results for a tear. She's our setter, Emily Arnold, but she's like pushing through it. But I told her, like, me, Sydney Colvin, and Hannah Brown have all like had shoulder surgery, the same one. So we're like kind of teaching her and like telling her it's not that bad. But the main thing that I had to get through was like anytime I went back to swing, like I felt it. And I was like, I can't do it. Like it's so unbearable. And they actually didn't see the tear in my MRI. They had to go in and just find it. So when I woke up in my sling, I was like, oh God, like how long is this going to take? So,
Yeah.
But luckily I was back right in time for my junior year. So it was like, I missed COVID year. So it wasn't even full season. We played half our conference. So that was a good year to miss if I had to miss one.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And you still knew you had, a couple years after that in Division I, so you could get that experience.
Yeah.
What was the toughest part of the rehab process?
Honestly, just the first, you have surgery and then you have to go to rehab like 2 days after. Like it's awful. Like they had to just moving my arm up. I went in and all he did was guide my arm above my head every single day. And like, it was just unbearable. Like it was a sickening pain. Like it like hurts your stomach. Like, and I would get in the car and I'd cry. I couldn't drive. So my dad would just be like, it's okay. I know it hurts, but like unbearable. But like, I would say the getting back into swinging, like that was intense. I worked with Brad here, and he helped guide me back. So
how long did it take to get through the unbearable pain?
It honestly still, like, I still feel tightness in my shoulder, but
Wow.
like, I know it's healed. Like, I know they fixed the tear. It's just tight. Like, that's how it's just going to be, especially with an overhead sport like volleyball is. So, yeah.
Did it take you a while to trust your body again?
Yes. It wasn't, I wouldn't say since it didn't happen in one specific moment, it was like a gradual injury. I think if it was like one snap where I was like, oh my God, like I think I just tore something, I think I would be a lot more scared. Like I know a girl on our team, Hallie, tore her ACL like 2 years ago, and she's still scared like to do certain jumps, and like I couldn't imagine that. So luckily it's not that terrifying for me since it was like gradual, but I still like, I don't know, I make sure I stretch really good because it's just tight. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, gives you a different perspective too, right?
Yes, yeah.
So right now you're in the middle of like the grind of conference, like the
Yes.
hardest part of the year. Little over a month left in the season. Walk us through what an average day for you is like.
Yeah, so I live at home right now, which is only like 15 minutes away. I live with my parents, and I love my dog so much. So I'm like, I want to live at home my last year. 15 minutes away, I probably wake up at like 5:30, get here at 6 for treatment. Practice starts at 6:30. And then we practice for about 2 hours. Sometimes we have film incorporated in there. Go to class, lift, 2 more classes, and then that's when I go home and like hang out with my dog and family.
So you love your dog. What type of dog is it?
It's a like Bichon Frizz mixed with Poodle. So
Okay.
She's an itty little thing, itty bitty thing. So
What's the name?
Finley,
Finley?
because my mom's maiden name is Finnegan, and we kind of wanted to like tie in the Irish kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's turning 3 in 2 days.
Oh, so you
She's a
got
baby, yeah.
lots of time with Finley
Yes,
left.
Yes.
Dogs are the best.
I know. Like we had one growing up, but it was our share dog, and we shared her with my grandma because I was traveling, like doing club ball and stuff, and my grandparents were old, but like everyone wanted a dog still, so they were like, we'll have it a little bit, and then we'll have it a little bit. So like it kind of worked out. Like it was perfect, but she passed away really young. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you get married and move in together, are you going to get a dog?
for sure.
Okay.
I want a doodle of some type, but I think he's gonna want like some pit bull. Like I think he wants like either a hunting dog or something, but I don't think I'm gonna let it happen.
Okay.
Like no.
One dog, multiple dogs?
I would like one for sure, but like 2 wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
I really like that. Or like maybe one, have kids, another one. I'm like really big, like since I lost my dog at a really young age, like she died at 4 and I was only in like 7th grade. So like that hit, and it was like a runaway, like she ran away. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like we didn't get closure and that kind of thing. So like, I think it's going to be hard, especially for my dog I have right now. Like when she just passes, I'm just going to be like, oh my God. Like, so I think when that dog I gets old, I think that's when I'll get another one. So then they'll like be together for a little bit and that kind of thing.
Right.
So it won't be as hard.
Yeah. I mean, I just try not to think about it. I have 2
know.
dogs, and they're 5 and 2 years old now. And thinking about when they pass is
I
like
know,
going to
it's
be the worst day
awful.
of my life.
Like I literally don't know. Like I can't imagine it. And I'm like, I'll be staring. I see TikToks all the time. Like you stare at your dog and you're like, oh my God. Like I don't want them to ever die, but like they
know.
will. But like they don't think that. They don't know that. Like
Right.
yeah.
They're the best. I mean, they're really part of the family. And I think people
Yes.
who don't have dogs don't quite understand
Yeah,
that.
I didn't like, and then we got her, and because my little brother was like really sad, and he was like, I just want a dog, and my mom was like, no, and we eventually got it, and it's like made our whole family like so different, like everyone's so happy, and if I get sad or like just mentally in my head with everything going on in my life, my mom sends me a picture of my dog, and she's like, you gotta come home to her. Like some people who aren't from here, they don't have that, and like that's when I do get in a bad headspace. Like she's always like, you have your dog, like you have your, like we're here, you have your boyfriend here, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. But at the end of the day, I did pick Bellarmine because it was close. So like,
Yeah.
luckily I knew that in the committing process. So
Yeah, not everybody does.
no, and it's really sad. Like there's a lot of cases where people are like, I'm gonna go to Texas or I'm gonna go to Florida, and then you're like I committed in 8th grade, and you like that's not who you are anymore. Like I don't know. It's sad.
That is an interesting topic because with certain sports, you commit so early, and you're right. You're a completely different person
Yeah.
between 8th grade and a senior in high
Yeah.
school. And just watching that transformation of kids, and then they make a decision early, and then they regret it.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch sometimes, but, you know, that's part of the process of growing up
It's
and
sad.
making your own decisions. Well, it seems like you made the right decision.
Yes, I've never regretted this decision. I love it here. love everything.
And you've been playing volleyball for so long. I mean, I'm curious, before a game, as a senior, you've done it for so long. Do you still feel that natural juice and competitive fire?
I do, yeah. I've never really been like big on film or anything like that. I just like go out there and play because it's so natural. Like I don't like to overthink things. I just literally just go and play. Like there's never really a moment where I'm like, oh my God, it's game day. Like I just go and play. Like I don't need to overthink it. It's just no different than playing in the backyard with my dad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I want to get, you mentioned you don't watch film, but I want to get into what you see on the court during the game in just a second. But before the game, do you listen to music or do you have any routine or anything that's unique?
No, I really just like, we hang out. We just hang out in there.
Yeah.
Like they'll play music, yeah, but like I've never been like, I need a Starbucks refresher.
Right.
Or like anything like that. Like I've never had a regimen. Like, no.
Yeah.
I sometimes have beef jerky, which I'm like, that's protein. My grandpa loves to give me it, but no.
Okay. It's just
Yeah.
relax, go out there and play.
Yeah, I literally, like, because if I overthink it, then I'll be in my head. But
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm just going to go out there.
So you don't watch a ton of film, but when you're out there and get as far into the weeds as you want here, you're going up for a swing. Like, what are you looking for step by step with the defense?
Yeah. Sometimes I don't, like, as true as that is, but then other times when I'm like, my shots are starting to get, like, very diverse, but people are like digging it, that's when I'm like, I take a step back, and since I'm in the whole time, I can't really like sit on the bench and observe when the other outside hitter's hitting, so I can't be like, oh, that spot's open. I'm just like constantly like looking at the ball and stuff. So I think really like I do get lucky sometimes, I want to say. Like I just swing as hard as I can and it'll just like go off their platform, or but I do, my dad has always told me I have like a good volleyball IQ. Like I can see the court, which like you'd think if you're looking up to hit, like you really can't. Like you're looking at the ball, so you don't really see the court. But like he said, he says I see that, which I believe it. Like
Yeah.
I know I'm not like looking over here while I'm trying to hit the ball, but I'm like, I think I can see movement. So yeah.
I think we all believe that based on what the results have
Yeah.
been. Yeah, why has this year been different? I mean, you've had great years in the past, but it's taken another step up this year.
Yeah, I want to give all my thanks to our setter, Emily. Like everybody, like everyone's a team, but like we have a good connection. We've been playing together since we were 10. Like there's been some breaks, yes, but like we were on the same club team. There's really cute pictures, like I should probably send, but yeah, we've always had a connection. My mom would tell her when we were 10, she was like, high and tight on the net. Jayme will get it. And now I'm like, now it's fast and tight. Like, I'll do that too. But,
Yeah.
like, we just have a really good connection. I trust her. I trust my passers behind me. But, yeah, I would say, like, and Coach Nold, he has been very good to have, and Jesse. Like, everything's just, like, so nice. It's, like, really happy atmosphere.
Good way to go out, huh? Your last year?
Yes, that's what my mom keeps saying. She's like, that's awesome. I'm so glad you're happy and like you're having fun. So
I'm guessing you were pretty pumped when Emily decided to transfer here last year.
Yes, I was. I was like, oh my God, this is great. Now, like, obviously she's hurting, but she's still going out there and like killing it. She just got 3,000 assists, and I was like, that's crazy. But yeah, I'm so excited she's here.
Over 1,000 career kills for you, 3,000 assists for her.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we gonna be together. When I was like, that's crazy. Like, for as far back as we go, we just like got a big milestone together. Like, I mean, it was a game apart, but like,
Yeah.
I remember everyone was like, you got your 1,000, and then they were like, wait, count Emily's, and she was like, she got like 60, and she needed like 63 or something. So it was like so close, but the fact that it was the same weekend was like really special.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing. So you're getting a lot of swings. Like your usage rate is up even more this year.
Yeah.
Is that something you expected going into the year?
Yeah, I think that's usually that's how it is on pretty much any team I'm on. I look at like this attempt numbers, and it's like in the 70s or something for each game, and like the next hitter is like 40. So it is a lot of swings, and I'm like, I do go back and think about my shoulder, and I'm like, oh God, like I gotta take it easy. But when your adrenaline's up, you don't feel it, and especially after the game, I'm like, I don't really feel it. But it's very nice to know that like my teammates have that much faith in me, and they give me the ball in the back row, front row, wherever. It's really nice.
Yeah, and again, it's paying off for you this year, over 4 kills per set, leading the A-Sun. We're joined by Jayme Scott on KRT today. I'm always curious, like play calls in volleyball. You don't have to say what your actual play calls are, but like, what's an example of one? Shoot's
my favorite. It's very fast out to the pin. we kind of like to do the fast shoot because, especially in the ASUN, I've always liked a fast set, but for the ASUN, the girls are so big, like you got to catch them off guard, like, and we're a smaller team, so like as fast as you can get it, the middle might not close the block, so then you have a hole, and then usually it hits the ground because like if I get that good set, which I do, it's usually down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the play calls in volleyball aren't like, spider 2, Y banana, read
Yeah,
left.
no.
It's shoot, green.
Or numbers, yes.
Red, 5,
Yeah, it's like 4, 3, but we like sometimes figure out names for it. Like it's like Bick and Bob and all this stuff. I don't know where they get the names from, but like I know that's what it is. So.
And you change the play calls game to game or no?
Sometimes, but not really. Like it's a basic standard shoot. If I'm getting blocked a ton, that's when I'll run a bob, and it's just like a step in. So the block, like they might not know, so they're like out here, but I go in. Or a 2. 2's like right in the middle, so I'm on the outside pin, but a 2 is like a high ball in the middle. So like sometimes the middle will run a 1. So then, like, the middle blocker on the other side's jumping, but, like, so they're coming down as I'm hitting because they're not expecting that second person to be back there. So I really like that one.
How do you communicate the plays to each other? Just hand signals?
Yeah, it's in serve receive. So, like, they're serving, and, like, our setter will look at us, and she holds out her shirt, and she shows us that number. But, yeah, usually it's the same for me. Middles, I think it gets more crazy, but I've never had to be a middle. So, thank God.
Why do you say that?
That is a lot of jumping.
They have
a lot of responsibility. Like I think back on it and we're practicing and stuff, and like the stuff they have to do, like I would be guessing all the time. Like you have to figure out where you want to, like where the set's going. Like I don't know, I just have the one responsibility. I go right or I go left, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like that, I just go left and block the ball, but they have to like figure out where it's going. No, not for me.
Hey, being an outside is great. Your responsibilities are simple, and you get all the glory with the kills.
Yeah, I was like, that's fine. Yeah.
Were you always an outside growing up?
Yes, I was like a middle for like 2 minutes, and then they moved me outside. I think it's because it's like a really complicated. Like we just said, it's easy, but like it's complicated.
Yeah,
but
is.
like without a system balls, like that have to come from the DS. But like, a coach told me one time that she was like, I think you'd be better on the outside, and I was like, okay. And I cried. I remember I was like 10 and I took it so hard because for some reason growing up, I was like, I have to be the tallest. I don't know why it meant so much to me to be tall. Like that's how my dad was like, my dad's dad, he would be like, you're not the best because you're not the tallest. And my dad's like 6'5", so like he is huge, but he's like, okay. And then, I mean, my dad never did that to me, but I was like, I have to be tall. I want to be tall. And I don't know, like we were all the same height, but I took it offensive when they moved me to the outside. I was like, I guess I'm short. But no, they were like, no, like you could be more diverse out there. And I was like, okay, fine. So I am very glad that they switched me there. And it was actually my aunt that moved me out there.
Okay.
I was playing for my aunt at the time, so that was nice.
Family knows what's best, huh?
Yes.
So the team's having its best year in Division I, and you've experienced, a few different teams here, but what do you like most about this group?
We have a very special bond. No matter how, like, not even sassy we can get with each other. Like, obviously, teammates butt heads. Like, we're kind of going through that right now. But, like, with the follow-up and, like, we're just such a special group of girls. Like, we all have the same personality. Like, I could yell at anyone on the team and then be like, hey, like, I obviously didn't mean it like that. I'm not a yeller, though. Like, I'm not comfortable with that because I don't want to be yelled at. So, like, that's how I don't want to yell at anybody. But if we start butting heads, it's such an important thing to follow up with somebody, like at the water break, be like, that's not what I meant. Like, but we're a really good group of girls.
Yeah, you can be honest with each other.
Yes.
And
yes.
So when you say you're butting heads, obviously, that's private within the team, but I mean, how do you handle that? Is that when captains really step in? Sometimes,
yeah, but then it's like, it would be like the littlest thing, like a ball could drop and then like me and Anna go at it sometimes, but not in a bad way at all. We're like, oh crap, I could have gotten that tip. And she's like, no, I could have, or you get that tip. And then I'm like, it's that kind of thing. But like, we know our responsibilities, but sometimes it still needs to be cleared up. Like, yeah, a tip goes fast and I'm blocking, but I'm coming down. So like, I can't really reach back and get it, but Anna's playing defense far back. So it's like not the most ideal ball, but like, we know it has to get up. So we're going to tell like whoever needs it to get it up.
Yeah. And do you find that being the case where you're butting heads or the communication's more open and honest? Does that happen later in the year?
Sometimes it just happens whenever. Like in the past years, it's just like it can happen soon or it can happen late in the year when like things get tight and obviously you're trying to get into the conference tournament and stuff like that. But I don't know. Like right now, I guess we're a month left. I don't even know. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because we lost this past weekend, and I don't know if we're we went 1-1, but like we knew our game against Central Arkansas wasn't our best performance. So I think we were like, we need to not butt heads. We need to have good attitudes and stuff like that. So, because I mean, you butt heads and like again, follow up is so important. Like if you don't have that follow up, you can just be like thinking about it and be like, oh my God, they're mad at me. Like they think I'm awful. Like all this stuff is going through your head, and you're not worried about like your play. You're worried about what they're thinking about you. So.
Just part of the ebbs and flows of the year.
Yeah, yeah.
So reflection time here. I mentioned we talk about just your volleyball career. Have you even taken the time to think about everything in the past yet, or are you just focused game by game?
Usually game by game. That's what I would say. Like, I don't really ever think back. Sometimes I'm like, I'll think about a really good kill or something that like that was a really good moment, or I got chills like with how my teammates responded or something like that. But usually I'm just looking forward, yeah. And I think eventually, like, here's very soon, I'll be thinking about like all my years playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think you'll miss the most?
I think the bond, like, without even the play, like just being with a special group of girls, like. I don't know, they're going to be my best friends. Like I say all the time, these girls are going to be in my wedding. Like, they were my best friends. And I think, like, how important it was that, like, we all came here and, like, we all ended up together. And, like, what are the odds? Like, everywhere in this world we ended up right where we needed to be. It's just, yeah. But I'm going to miss, like, my mom says all the time, like, if I have a minute off, she's like, you need to get your anger out somehow. Like, when we're on off season or whatever, she's like, no, you need to go hit a volleyball. So I don't know what she's going to tell me after this.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to, like, still play in leagues with my dad. He still plays volleyball all the time. My brothers play volleyball. So I think, and my cousins do. So I think he plays in, like, a little holy family league so I think every Monday night. So I think I'll probably play in those leagues with him.
You might be the best one.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be all boys, so
okay.
It'll be a super high net. I don't know.
Still.
Yeah, and he never let me play. He was like, you're going to get hurt and you're going to lose your scholarship. And I was like, okay, fair enough. Like,
can't use that excuse anymore.
Yeah, so I'm like really excited to finally get the chance to play with him. It's kind of like LeBron, like he wants to play with his kids, but obviously it's different. He's in the NBA, but like, I don't know, that'd be really special to get to play with him because my brothers they've got to play with him for years, but it'll be different because everyone says I play just like my dad. And like that's exactly where I get it, and it's like freaky, and people like they're like, you play like a dude, and I'm like, okay. But I don't know. I think it'd be really neat because he has very tricky shots and stuff like that. So I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. From a general perspective, are you really looking forward to life after volleyball?
I am, yeah. Since it's never been something I really get, like it's always been volleyball. And even in your off time, you're like either getting fun reps or you're thinking about the next season, how to get better. But yeah, I am, like, especially like getting to plan this wedding and getting a dog and all the stuff. Yeah.
It's exciting stuff. I mean, senior year of college, going into the real world's a big transition in itself. Mm-hmm. Add getting married to that and all that stuff. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Well, you've got Liberty and who else do you have this weekend? Queens this weekend. Give us a little preview. What can we expect?
We know they have some powerful hitters, and we were looking into it that was yesterday. We were watching some film, and usually we go through each hitter and their hitter tendencies and stuff like that. I think he always says, Coach Nold always says, like, serving needs to be our top priority, and we need to come after them with our tough serves because, like, that's how the play starts. Like, if you get a tough serve and they have a somewhat decent pass, they have to shoot it out to the outside. And if we know where it's going, we'll have a better defense set up. So it's usually like really important on that, and that's typically our main focus. But he does such like deep thinking, both of them do, and like really look at like how that team plays and how we can play off that. And it's really neat to see how it all ties together. Like he was like, this person, like, she passes better over here, but not over here. So we spent practice serving in that zone. And he was like, this is how it's going to be. So it's really neat to see how that's going to go.
Well, it's going to be fun to watch you play, and it's been a blast watching you so far this year throughout your career. And 1 month left in your volleyball career. Soak it in.
Yeah. Oh, I will.
Jayme Scott, everyone, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're hoping for some more wins for Bellarmine this season and this weekend as they take on Liberty and Queens. That does it for KRT episode 22. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Follow us on social media at BU Knights to hear from Jayme Scott and all of our other guests. I'm Jack Kaiser, and Swords Up.